3 years ago, I brought home a little blindy no one wanted. She liked to bite my ear and say she was my good puppy. She also liked using both hands in the dark, again and again, tracing and measuring my body. She said she wanted to feel out exactly what I looked like. Later, she regained sight. Only then did I learn she was the missing eldest princess of the Shen family, and she already had a fiancé. Before she had ever seen my face, I left behind a death certificate and vanished without a trace. After hiding for 5 years, I only dared show my face again after hearing she had just remarried. But as soon as the plane landed, the airport was surrounded by a crowd of bodyguards in black. Shen Nianchu was holding a custom groom's wedding suit. Her smile was gentle, yet obsessive. Fiancé. The measurements from 5 years ago were off. Be good. Now I'll measure you again. My manager dragged me to the private room door, but I froze and did not dare go in, because Shen Nianchu, the Shen family's eldest princess, was sitting inside. Through the slightly ajar door, I heard someone flatter her. Eldest princess, I heard you went missing after an accident back then, and that you were blind for a time. That must have been very hard. Shen Nianchu gave a faint, elegant smile. It was not that hard. Someone took personal care of me, and life was easier than it is now. That should have been your fiancé, right? Then congratulations on making it through hardship together. True lovers always end up together. No, but Shen Nianchu cut him off. Her sweet voice was cool and distant. He is right here. I was startled and jerked my head up, but through the crack in the door, I saw Shen Nianchu raise a hand and point at this patch of ground. Buried right here. Oh, right? I'm already dead. The death certificate from 5 years ago was signed and confirmed by Shen Nianchu herself. My manager beside me was also eavesdropping and muttered quietly, "That guy is unlucky too. If he hadn't died, had probably be soaring to great success by now." I gave a small laugh. Impossible. My manager frowned. "Why are you so sure?" "To make the eldest princess agree to personal care, he must have been extraordinary at it. That guy had to be incredible in bed." I lowered my eyes to hide the guilt in them. Sometimes I cannot even tell whether, the first time Shen Nianchu and I were together, who was having sex with whom. Back then, she was blind. Her hearing had become unnaturally sharp. I only whispered a few words into her ear, but she said it sounded like a bomb going off. I was so young and innocent then. I asked her curiously, "What exactly is climax?" While explaining it, she reached out and touched my heart, but accidentally touched somewhere else. At once, even my neck and collarbones started turning red. When I saw her go red all over and stiffen up, I thought she was dying. I cried and rushed over, ready to give her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. She wrapped her arms around me and sealed my mouth with her cherry lips. I was lost in the memory when a server pushing a cart suddenly bumped into me. I yelped on instinct. The slightly ajar private room door was knocked open too. On the seat directly facing the door, Shen Nianchu suddenly lifted her eyes and looked right at me. Shen Nianchu and I met eyes. In that instant, the blood in my entire body turned to ice. I could not even turn around, but it only lasted a few seconds. Thanks to 5 years of getting beaten down by society, I had learned how to wear a perfect fake smile. Funny, really. Even though Shen Nianchu and I had shared a bed for 2 years, the number of times her slender hands had brushed over my face and body was more than my own hands ever had. But to her, I was just a dead man she'd never even seen. So what if we slept together? If she had never even seen my face, how could she possibly recognize me? Just as I expected, Shen Nianchu did not recognize me. When our glasses clinked, her gaze was bright yet cold. When it fell on me, it made my nerves tingle for no reason. Just like the first time I saw her. It was a stormy night, lightning flashing and thunder crashing. I lost my mother forever in the hospital. On the way home, tears streaming down my face, I tripped in a narrow alley. Shen Nianchu was pressed against the wall, soaked through. She was barely alive, a complete wreck. Under the weak streetlight, her cheeks were covered in wounds. But that face was still so delicate and beautiful it took my breath away. Her large almond-shaped eyes were bleeding, yet her eyes held wariness and a chilling edge. I was scared. I wanted to run. But then I thought of my mother. My mother was in so much pain lying in that hospital bed. If only someone could save her. In the end, I carried Shen Nianchu back to my shabby rented room. I used every cent I had to get her treated. Back then, I was too ignorant and too poor to realize how expensive the clothes she was wearing were. I mistook her for someone homeless, just like me. I even thought it must be my mother in heaven, taking pity on me, afraid I would be alone. And so she led me to her. I thought I had family again, and something to hold on to. Suddenly, my manager beside me pinched the back of my hand. What are you thinking about? You are still smiling. I snapped back to myself. The smile on my face turned stiff. Seeing my reaction, my manager suddenly said, Chen, you are not falling for Shen Nianchu, are you? Let me tell you. She is famous for not being interested in men. Anyone who tries to get close to her ends up miserable. I heard her fiancé is her childhood sweetheart, the Beijing elite heir. They are very much in love. Do not get bewitched by her. A woman like that is out of your league. One wrong move and you will offend her. But when I decided to leave Shen Nianchu back then, I tied her down on a bed that cost only 100 yuan and fucked her hard for 3 hours. I also told her that I had only been lonely these past 2 years, and keeping her around was just for fun. Now some rich older woman has taken a shine to me and wants to keep me. I do not want you anymore. Shen Nianchu's face had turned bright red then. She cried out in a hoarse voice, Lu Chen, don't let me catch you. I will ride you until you cannot take it. For this pampered young lady, even going blind, had probably never felt this humiliating. To her, I had already offended her beyond repair. Luckily, I was already dead. For that, I should thank her fiancé. Anyway, once the toasts were over tonight, there was no way Shen Nianchu and I would ever meet again. With that in mind, I wandered casually into the hotel garden. When I looked up, I saw a slender figure standing there. Pale fingers held a long, slim cigarette. It was Shen Nianchu. She turned to look at me, just as I was thinking fast about how to handle this. She suddenly shouted at me, Revive! I jumped in shock. Ray Revive? She recognized me. Luckily, before I panicked and almost blew my cover, a little dog suddenly darted up from behind, rubbing affectionately against my leg. It was the little Mutt I used to raise. Because of my indecisiveness, the name had never been decided. Shen Nianchu had actually taken it in, and even named it Revive. Revive what? Me, the man who staged his own death, coming back to life. I shivered for no reason. If she found out I was not dead, and that I had played her for a fool, the consequences would be unimaginable. Revive. Stop fooling around. Shen Nianchu stubbed out her slim cigarette, then smiled and beckoned to the little dog. But the dog had not seen me in so long, was going wild at my feet, hopping and bounding around in delight. Looks like my dog really likes you. Shen Nianchu's gaze settled on my face. Calm, yet deep. I pretended to stay calm, even thanked the dog circling at my feet, which gave my obvious nerves an excuse. Sorry. Maybe I smell like meat. Some of the steak juices splashed on me earlier. I should head back first. Eldest princess. But before I could take a step, Shen Nianchu suddenly said again, being a dog is actually pretty happy. I froze. You mean, being a dog, as long as you are obedient enough, the owner will reward you. Being a good puppy is not bad at all. Once, when things were burning hot, Shen Nianchu would lie on top of me, nibbling my ear and whining, I am Chen's good puppy. My heart shot straight up into my throat. I clenched my palms tight. Sorry, eldest princess. I am human, so I do not know much about dogs. My straight man comment made the air go silent for a moment. I wanted to find an excuse to leave, but Shen Nianchu suddenly asked, then if you had a good puppy, would you abandon it? I don't keep dogs. Why? Because I do not have the ability to shoulder that responsibility. I lost my mother. I lost Shen Nianchu. And I lost my little Mutt too. I would not allow myself to have a weakness again. I still need to go toast the guest. I will not disturb you any longer, eldest princess. I turned around, but the little Mutt lunged at me again. My steps became hurried, and I was afraid I would step on it. I stumbled and lurched forward. A pair of slender hands came from behind, wrapping around my waist just like before. What is wrong? Do you feel unwell somewhere? My back pressed against her soft chest, and her sweet, urgent voice brushed against my ear. Just like during those 2 years together, she had cared for me so tenderly that I had the illusion we could love each other until we grew old together. Nianchu, why have you been in the garden so long? Suddenly, a refined male voice sounded behind us. I did not even need to turn around to know whose voice it was. Hongxuan, the kind of voice that shatters a person's sweetest dream, is always remembered clearly. To me, Hongxuan was exactly that. I remember it clearly. Hongxuan in expensive men's leather shoes stood inside my cramped rented room. and the first thing he said was, "This kind of dump. Nianchu actually slept here for 2 years. For the sake of our future." She really could endure anything. I was clearly not the weak type, but looking at the imposing Song Hongxuan, I could not even find the words to argue back. For the first time, I shed tears of shame over my own poverty. But luckily, not anymore, because my heart was no longer barren and bitter. I quickly pushed Shen Nianchu away and steadied myself. Song Hongxuan walked up from behind. When he saw my face, his pupils shook for a split second, but in a few seconds he was back to normal. Looks like his acting was better than mine. Song Hongxuan asked me with a smile, "Hello, you must be the new singer signed to Sister Kai's company." "Yes." "Then why were you hugging Nianchu just now?" Song Hongxuan looked at Shen Nianchu and joked, "Aren't you afraid your would-be fiancé will get jealous?" "Fiancé?" Shen Nianchu's long lashes trembled faintly. She repeated that one word he said, but those clear, bright eyes were staring straight at me. It was as if molten lava was rolling in her eyes. "I was startled by the dog just now. Thank you for helping me, eldest princess. I'll let you get back to it." I did not change expression, and after saying that, I left. But Shen Nianchu came over in her high heels, blocking my way. She took a wedding invitation from her pocket and handed it to me. "1 month from now is my wedding. You have to come." Her voice was clear and lovely, and it left no room for refusal. Song Hongxuan teased Nianchu, "You really are something. Wedding invitations are supposed to be sealed, opened only on the day itself. At this rate, who could even see the bride and groom's names?" I had no interest in listening to their flirting. I politely took the invitation and left. On the way back to my room, I casually tore up the invitation and threw it in the trash. But I did not notice that on the torn edge of the card, a tiny Chen character was exposed. I thought my reunion with Shen Nianchu was just an accident, and I did not take it to heart. I focused on my career until my agent told me that a project from a famous director wanted me to sing the opening theme. For someone with my current level of fame, that was pure luck from heaven. But when I got to the set and saw Shen Nianchu, I realized it was not luck at all. It was Eldest Princess who had picked me out by name. My social butterfly agent dragged me along and cheerfully greeted everyone. When we got to Shen Nianchu, she was the one who deigned to speak first. "Mr. Liu, long time no see," my agent said with an apologetic smile. "Eldest Princess. His surname is Chu. His name is Chu Chen." My heart started racing. Back then, after I staged my death, I canceled my registration and went to another city. I took a new name, using my mother's surname, but the Chen in my name was given to me by my mother. I could not bear to change it. It was not exactly a rare character after all. Shen Nianchu's gaze seized on me. She said carelessly, "Then I may have remembered wrong. I have an old acquaintance who also has that Chen character in his name. It's just that his surname is Liu." The more I said, the more likely I was to slip up. So I simply stayed quiet. I gave a fake, socially awkward smile. My agent thought I was hopelessly clueless. He glared at me secretly. I just pretended not to see it. At noon, the staff brought lunch. Fruit salad. The one they gave me had mango in it. I'm allergic to mango. Shen Nianchu knew that better than anyone. But if I turned it down now, she would only grow more suspicious. My allergy isn't that bad. At worst, I'll break out in a few hives. One Loratadine tablet will fix it, compared with the trouble that could come from having my cover blown. That was nothing. I unwrapped the fruit salad, and in front of Shen Nianchu, picked up a piece of mango and was about to put it in my mouth. In the next second, Shen Nianchu actually reached out and snatched my chopsticks from me. She was every bit the spoiled young lady with it, like she was angry about something. The mango fell onto the table. My agent froze. "Eldest Princess." Shen Nianchu took the salad in front of me too. I heard her tell her assistant as she walked off, "I'll eat this one. Replace his with a hot dish and rice." Soon, the assistant brought me 8 dishes and a soup from Fuyun restaurant. That meal had to cost at least 10,000. My agent was dumbfounded. He asked me quietly, "Chen, you didn't secretly hook up with Eldest Princess behind my back, did you? You've got her. Sister Kai. Didn't you say she wasn't interested in men? But how she looks at you. It feels like she only cares about you. The whole room is huge, and she's only looking at you." My hand around the chopsticks tightened. "Only cares about me. Looks like." Getting fooled back then wasn't quite as laughable as I thought. See, even someone as sharp as Sister Kai got fooled too. When I first picked up Shen Nianchu and took her home, she was blind, and her injuries were severe. I was so poor every one of my clothes had patches on it. It wasn't like I never thought about sending her to a shelter. But Shen Nianchu seemed to sense what I was thinking. When I got up to open the door, she grabbed my sleeve with her handful of cuts. Don't send me away. She stared straight toward me. Though those eyes were blind, they were as dazzling and captivating as the sun. So easy to lose yourself in. My heart softened at once. I asked her where her parents and family were. She said she didn't know. She kept her head down, and there were still unhealed wounds on her sharp little face. She looked like a homeless stray puppy. I thought she must have been abandoned without mercy, so badly that she did not remember anything. I started working 3 jobs a day, making money to get her treated. Every night when I got home from work, Shen Nianchu would hold me, warming my hands and my feet. Chen, you've worked so hard. Once my eyes get better, I'll give you the best life, the best home. I'll never let you work this hard again. I'll make sure you live a life of ease. I'm sorry, Chen. I'm the reason you're so tired. Wait for me a little longer. I will make it happen. Her hands and feet were warm, pressed against my chest. That warmth spread through my whole body, straight to my heart. Listening to her say that, my heart had gone soft and sweet to the point of absurdity. I did not notice at all how she could sound so certain and so calm, or the flicker of guilt and restraint in her eyes. How could I blame you? I'm a man. I'm supposed to go out and earn money for the family. Wife, I've thought it through. Once I've saved enough money, we'll go to Hu City to get your eyes checked. I heard they have the best ophthalmology hospitals there. No matter what, I will cure you. I'll make sure you see the world with me. If we have the chance, we'll have a child. If not, then forget it. Anyway, we were each other's most cherished people. And also, in the future, I want to buy a house that belongs to us. I want to make you more comfortable there. It should not be this small, and it should never leak or lose power. Whenever I rambled on like that, Shen Nianchu would just hold me tight. She would tilt her face up and kiss me over and over. Then she would lie on top of me, teasing and provoking me. That way, my mouth would only be good for kissing her, and not for saying anything else. Now that I think about it, maybe Shen Nianchu did not want to hear me talk. After all, those dreams of mine, to her, were just an ordinary person's life. As for her, she was the young lady who grew up in the imperial capital with a silver spoon in her mouth. What she considered a comfortable life was nothing like what I considered comfortable. In the shabby low-rent apartment, we were lonely souls huddling together for warmth. But once we stepped outside this apartment, we were as far apart as heaven and earth. During a break in the recording, Song Hongxuan showed up. The Beijing elite heir, Shen Nianchu's childhood sweetheart, drew everyone's attention. Song Hongxuan handed out afternoon tea, and finally gave the chestnut cake he had made himself to Shen Nianchu. What brings you here to listen to the theme song recording today? You seemed really into it just now. Shen Nianchu did not answer. Her tone was flat. Because I need to see someone very important. Everyone immediately started teasing and heckling. Song Hongxuan was also wearing a doting smile. A bold voice asked, Eldest princess, are you and President Song set to get married next month? Shen Nianchu's tone turned from flat to solemn. I will be at next month's wedding, and I will confess to the person I love. I did not listen any further, and turned to the terrace to clear my head. That 8-dish, 1 soup lunch at noon was too much. My brain was swimming in carbs. After I finished getting some air, just as I was about to go back down, I heard voices from the side entrance. Nianchu, do you think the voice of that man called Chen sounds like his? It was Song Hongxuan speaking. But he has been dead for 5 years. Back then, it was you who told me to give him some money. To calm him down, I only gave him a little more, and he took the money and left so cleanly. He probably did not love you that much. Clearly, he loved money more. Actually, Song Hongxuan misunderstood. I was not nearly smart enough back then to know that money mattered more than women. The reason I took the money so readily was for another reason. I had never seen much of the world, and Song Hongxuan had humiliated me so badly I had nowhere to hide. Second, half a month before Song Hongxuan came to my door, I had actually already caught him meeting Shen Nianchu. That day, the owner of the shop I was working part-time at had to close early for something. I went home ahead of time, only to see the woman who had originally been blind and had lost her memory, standing in the yard, holding a handsome man. Her open eyes were clear, with a hint of seduction. When she swept her gaze around, her eyes turned sharp again. There was no sign of blindness at all. I was the blind one. Back then, I was so weak and insecure it was almost funny. After I saw that scene, my chest twisted with pain. I crouched at the street corner and cried for a long time. But when I got home, I still acted as if nothing had happened. I did not even dare ask her. I was afraid of knowing the truth. I was afraid Shen Nianchu would leave just like that. I would be alone again. But later, Hongxuan came to my door with money. He showed me all kinds of intimate photos of him and Shen Nianchu, and bedroom photos. That finally set me off too. My mother told me, "You don't take a woman another man has already used. A woman like that is not worth pouring your whole heart into." So after I went at Shen Nianchu for 3 furious hours, I went along with Song Hongxuan's staged death plan, and took the money and disappeared. Now that I think about it, the only thing I regret is that I did not take enough money back then. A week after the photo shoot wrapped, nothing happened. I figured Shen Nianchu had probably been talked into it by Song Hongxuan, and she would not come looking for me to test whether I was telling the truth anymore. That night, I was packing my bags to leave Jing City. My manager, Sister Kai, was scrolling through her moments beside me. Hey, I heard from a friend that the dog Eldest Princess keeps has gone missing. They have been looking for days and still have not found it. The little Mutt is gone. When I left after staging my death, I could not take the little Mutt with me, so I left it with the family selling roast chicken at the alley entrance. I figured it could always scavenge some bones and meat scraps there. Eldest Princess had someone buy a new dog to replace it. I guess she is not looking for the old one anymore. Sister Kai's words made me even more anxious. Looks like Shen Nianchu really is not going to look for it. I caught a late-night ride in the rain and went to the old low-rent apartment. Sure enough, the door was open. I hurriedly folded my umbrella and ran inside. Little Mutt, I knew you'd be here. Click. The light came on. The little Mutt was not there. By the old plastic table sat a slender figure that looked completely out of place. There was still a slim cigarette burning between her fingers. When she lifted her eyes to me, her gaze burned redder than the cigarette tip. "Ah, Chen, you're back?" It was Shen Nianchu. When I saw the little Mutt tied at her feet, I knew I had walked right into her trap. But I still wanted to struggle one last time. "Eldest Princess, what did you call me?" Shen Nianchu stared at me without blinking. "That night, Revival was so affectionate with you. It never takes the initiative with anyone else. The wedding invitation I gave you, you tore it up and threw it in the trash. If you really did not know me, you would not have done this. Besides, going to the wedding would be good for your networking. I had someone bring you here to record a song. You sang it with me, and I knew it was you. And I knew it was you. Also, when you looked at the mango, you hesitated, but you still deliberately ate it in front of me. That 8-dish one soup spread. You did not eat the cilantro, and you did not eat the shiitake mushrooms either. More than that, Lu Chen, I have touched every inch of you countless times. Did you really think I would not recognize you when your cover was blown this completely? Since the disguise is already off, I might as well stop pretending. Yes, I am Lu Chen. So what did Eldest Princess want with me? You had your way with a woman, and then wanted to run? Shen Nianchu walked toward me in her high heels, rage pouring off her. I thought she'd be so angry she would slap me across the face. That time I went at her. I was ruthless. For a full month, my legs were so sore I could not even squat down. She probably was no exception. But when Shen Nianchu reached me, she raised her hand and laid it on my face. Her soft fingertips brushed over me so lightly. "So this is, you look exactly like the face I imagined. All these years, I have traced your face in my mind. 10,000 times over. Very handsome." She kept staring at me. "You are the most handsome man I have ever seen." I did not dodge. I said evenly, "Eldest Princess, was it fun?" Shen Nianchu's hand stilled. "Ah, Chen," she called me softly. "Your spoiled heir is sitting high and mighty on your throne. Now you're at the peak of your twisted little taste. Power and wealth are all in your hands. And now you're suddenly romanticizing the hard times. Thinking back on those cheap little slum romance games you used to play. If you really want to play, fine. Give me money, and I'll play with you." I looked straight at her. Maybe my serious expression angered Shen Nianchu. She stared at me, unblinking. Then she said through clenched teeth, "You only want money. For money, you could even throw away your name and your home. Isn't that right?" "Yes, and more than that. Back then, I took 3 million yuan, and still had to stage my death. erase my identity, and run. Now that I think about it, I was too stupid back then. You're the eldest princess of the top-tier Shen family. I saved your life. Taking 30 million would not have been too much. Shen Nianchu suddenly scooped me up. She rose onto her toes and sealed my mouth with a kiss. With one hand, she tore the sash from her long dress. Then she tied my wrist with possessive, unapologetic force. Her red lips gradually moved down to my collarbone. I could not dodge, so I stopped trying to. Want to sleep together? Bring it on. What do I have to be afraid of? I slept with you when you couldn't see. Now you're the lofty eldest princess. If I sleep with you, wouldn't that be a win for me? I pissed Shen Nianchu off badly. She shoved at my chest with both hands, trying to pin me down on that bargain 100 yuan bed. Then something seemed to occur to her. She grabbed my arm again and pulled me outside. Shen Nianchu took me to a villa. She yanked me out of the car. When we went into the villa, she crouched down and put warm cotton slippers on me. The next moment, she stood again, looped her arms around my neck, and forced me to lower my head. She kissed me hard. While she was biting my neck, I deliberately provoked her again. Why aren't we back at the low-rent apartment? Does eldest princess think it is dirty and no longer good enough for you? Shen Nianchu's lips paused. You have allergic rhinitis. The blankets there had not been changed in a long time. They were very dusty. I froze for a moment, but within seconds I was back to normal. I was no longer that foolish little idiot who would burst into tears at the slightest kindness. Because once your heart is no longer barren, you realize you can give yourself that warmth. Just as I was thinking that, I sneezed. My snot came out uncontrollably and splashed onto the back of Shen Nianchu's hand. But she did not look disgusted at all. She immediately got up to grab tissues and wipe it away. She took nasal spray from the fridge and made me a hot cup of red date and flower tea. So, she'd prepared everything in advance. Looks like a man lives here. I gave a fake smile. Eldest princess, you're awfully thoughtful. Do you take such good care of Mr. Song too? Why would I take care of him? I have nothing to do with him. Even if you are about to get married, you Beijing elites really know how to have fun. I won't marry him. Our so-called engagement was just something the elders said offhand when we were kids. The wedding invitations have already gone out. What's the point of saying all this? Shen Nianchu, do you have a single honest word in you? Shen Nianchu looked up at me. Her eyes carried a trace of tension. Lu Chen, if I said, I want to marry you. Impossible. I cut her off. Shen Nianchu, do you really think that after everything between us, I'd still marry you? Shen Nianchu's red lips trembled. If I say anything, you still won't believe me, right? From the moment I knew you were faking amnesia to fool me. Shen Nianchu, I did not want to believe you anymore. We were strangers long ago. You walk your road as the eldest princess. I'll live my life as an ordinary man. There will be no more connection between us. I stayed calm the whole time and spoke to her with a smile. Shen Nianchu said nothing. That arrogant, domineering air she had while kissing me a moment ago had instantly wilted. She lowered her head. Her jet-black hair fell down. Even her beautiful, delicate brows and eyes grew meek. She crouched, half kneeling in front of me. Her slender hands still held the tissue I'd used to wipe my nose. Soft and fair. Trembled slightly. There she was again, looking like a clingy little puppy. I ignored it. After a long moment, Shen Nianchu spoke hoarsely. Chen, then my wedding. Will you come? No. I refused without a second thought. I hope you'll come to my wedding. I'll give you Zhongguo's once-a-year contract slot. Okay. Chen. Her rough voice seemed to carry a hint of pleading. I couldn't be bothered to think too hard about it. I agreed at once. Sure. Zhongguo is one of the top record labels in the entertainment industry. A slot this rare, for a newcomer with no backing like me, would be impossible for me to get. She was giving it to me herself. Why wouldn't I take it? Deal. Chen, you have to come. Shen Nianchu drove me back to my apartment. Before leaving, she even emphasized that I had to come to the wedding. I could not figure out what strange quirk this Heir's had. You actually like having your ex around when you get married. I could not make sense of it, and I could not be bothered to think about it. When I got back to the apartment, I found someone I did not want to see standing at the door. Song Hongxuan. He looked at me coldly. Mr. Lu, I never thought you'd dare come back. You think that by getting Nianchu to recognize you, I won't be able to do anything to you. Actually, from Shen Nianchu's performance tonight, I had already pieced together the whole story. Song Hongxuan had lied to her, so Shen Nianchu thought I had left her heartlessly, just to get a little more money. But since we did not trust each other, There was no one to blame. I said with a smile, Mr. Song, are you trying to blacklist me? You probably don't know that I recorded all our conversations back then. I have recordings. I was bluffing. Back then, I was such a dumb kid. I didn't have that many tricks. But Song Hongxuan had clearly been scared by me. Clearly. Shen Nianchu was his weak spot. This guy was even more hopelessly love-struck than I used to be. But the past few years had also taught me, the more you back down, the more the other side will push their luck. Song Hongxuan was too scared to say another word. Before he left, he probably thought he had lost, and could not help turning back to say, Nianchu and I are getting married. It's at the start of next month. I knew. I waved at him. She was still innocent when she lived with me. I'd already taught her well. She was first rate at taking care of people. Have a wonderful wedding night. I slammed the door shut with a bang. That felt great. Back then, Song Hongxuan came looking for me. He humiliated me. I had actually already put that behind me. But he kicked the table, and my mother's photo frame fell and shattered. That grudge is finally settled. After signing with Jongle, I suddenly got busy. If my manager had not reminded me, I would have almost forgotten about Shen Nianchu's wedding. On the day of the wedding, I went as promised, but I never expected to end up as the groom. The wedding invitation had to be torn open on the spot that day, as the admission pass, but the bride's name on it was Shen Nianchu. But the groom's name was Lu Chen. All the guests were stunned. Song Hongxuan flew into a rage. He knelt and begged Shen Nianchu, but it was useless. The scandal shot straight to the top of the trending list. It dominated the top 5 spots. Hashtag Shen Nianchu Lu Chen hash. Hashtag who is Shen Nianchu's groom? Exactly, hash. Hashtag Song Hongxuan, the fake groom hash. Hashtag Lu Chen, the eldest princess's dark first love hash. Hashtag Lu Chen's staged death and a domineering female CEO falling for me became reality hash. Shen Nianchu walked onto the stage in her wedding dress, facing all the media, and told the whole story from back then. She said, it was all her fault. She did not tell me who she was, because the Shen family was in turmoil. She wanted to protect me. She said, she had never promised Song Hongxuan or the Song family anything. She planned the wedding herself, from start to finish. She only said that she was getting married. She never said who the groom was. She also said, she knew Song Hongxuan's temper. She knew he had hired people to paint me as the other man. Once I blew up, I would be doused in filthy rumors for the rest of my life. By then, even if the truth came out, the damage would still not go away. So she had to crush that scheme before it could even start. In the end, Shen Nianchu, trailing her mermaid wedding dress, walked up to me while I stood there completely dazed. She actually dropped to one knee, held up a ring, and proposed to me. My answer, of course, was no. After I turned down Shen Nianchu's proposal, I went viral. In an instant, I became the internet's poster boy for men. So, you really can pick up a beautiful wife by the roadside. Looks like your family hit the jackpot with your ancestors' gravesite. The eldest princess actually knelt down to propose. If that is not true love, with her status and position, how many men would be on their knees begging her? Still trash. Line makes you trash. HMPH. Chen, stop being such a fool. Go and make the eldest princess mad. I did not give Shen Nianchu the cold shoulder. I rode that wave of unprecedented attention and released my new album. I spent 3 years perfecting this album. It was met with great acclaim. I hit #1 on every major music platform. My career took off like a rocket. I won awards within a year, and my songs played everywhere. I gained a lot of fans, and the biggest superfan among them was Shen Nianchu. After the failed proposal, she started chasing me. The eldest princess chased people with just as much fanfare. When I went to accept an award, she cleared the road for me with more than a dozen luxury cars. No matter where I went for events, she always showed up on time. Whenever there was a product I endorsed, she spent a fortune buying them up and gave them away in free raffles for my fans. On my birthday, she bought the entire building light wall in Jing City to celebrate my birthday. Did the eldest princess win her husband back today? It became a permanent topic on Weibo. Every day there were people. I've already made myself clear enough. But Shen Nianchu kept right on doing it. I stopped responding. I poured myself into my career. I did not dare slow down for a second, afraid that if I stopped, I'd never move forward again. I started from much farther back, so I had to run faster than everyone else. That night, I walked out of the hotel where the event was being held, An Avang came straight at me. It barreled directly at me. I couldn't get out of the way. The next second, a slender, familiar figure appeared behind me, grabbed me, and hurled herself forward with me. Shen Nianchu and I crashed to the ground together. Except she landed on her back. She held me in her arms to shield me, and I didn't take a hit. Everything around us fell into chaos. After the hospital examination, I was not injured. Shen Nianchu fractured a bone in the fall. She needed to stay in bed and rest. The hit-and-run driver was caught quickly. It was sent by my rival company. Shen Nianchu was forced to stay in the hospital for a few days. Sister Kai, my manager, hinted that I should go see Shen Nianchu. I did not respond. I lowered my head and looked at the key in my hand. This key had fallen out when Shen Nianchu flew toward me and slipped from her coat pocket. It was also the key to my mud brick house back in southern Sichuan. After my mother died, I had no money to buy a grave in Jing City, so I took her ashes back to my hometown for burial. When I left in a staged death, I was in such a hurry that I forgot to take the key with me. How did Shen Nianchu get this key? I bought a plane ticket and flew straight to southern Sichuan. When I reached the door of the mud brick house and opened it, what hit me was not dust, but fresh air. The house had been cleaned spotless. My mother's photo hung in the center of the rosewood table. Offerings were laid out all around it, and they were all fresh. I walked over and knelt on a cushion. The area beside the incense burner was full of envelopes. I picked one up. The date written below was from 5 years ago, right when Shen Nianchu had just regained sight and was hiding it from me. My beloved husband, Chen, when you receive this letter, I will already have left our home, but this is only temporary. Don't worry. We already bowed to heaven and earth in front of Mom's spirit, and we have already shared the bridal chamber. You are the only man and husband I've ever had, Lu Chen. That will never change. First, I want to formally introduce myself to my husband again. My family name is Shen, and my given name is Nianchu. I am the eldest daughter of the richest Shen family in the capital, the heir to Shen Group. Height, 168.89 centimeters. My ID number is 1101XXX. XXXX. I lied to you when we first met. I had no choice. Husband, you must read this letter carefully to the end, and give your wife a chance to explain. Back then, the woman you met in that alley, actually, before I left the mud brick house in my hometown, Mrs. Zhang next door stopped me. Is that Chen? Hello, Grandma. It's been so long. How's your health? I'm doing great. Why are you alone? Didn't you bring your wife with you? Have you had a baby yet? Is it a boy or a girl? Wife, I'm not married. Wait, you're lying to me, old woman. Your wife comes every year to visit your mother's grave, not just during the 3 major festivals. She comes for every holiday, big or small. She always brings a lot of things, and she shares them with us neighbors. She said we must have looked after you when you were little. I froze. Shen Nianchu came every year to visit my mother's grave. Chen, you found yourself a good wife. She's a beauty. She looks like a rich young lady, but she didn't mind the dirt one bit. She could even live in that mud brick house of yours. Last New Year, I saw her there. I even brought her roasted sweet potatoes. Then I heard her crying alone in the room. She kept calling your name, saying she missed you so much, asking when you would come back. Oh, and also, the year before last, I think, Aunt Wang at the village entrance told her you died. She got so angry. She even kicked the broken fence at the village gate with her heels. She said you would never die. She said she wouldn't believe it. She said she'd wait until the day you came back. Heh, that girl is blessed. She really did bring you back. Look, see that? All the fences at our village entrance are brand new now. Apparently they cost tens of thousands. Your wife had someone install them. Afterward, she even sent every household rice, flour, oil, and meat. She said if you came back, she said I mustn't tell you about the fence kicking thing. Oh dear. How could I tell you? That girl is naive and rich. Case closed. I took all the letters and flew back to Jing City that same night. By the time I reached the hospital room, soaked through from the rain and wind, Shen Nianchu was drinking porridge. She clearly hadn't expected me to come looking for her. The moment she saw me, she sprang up from the hospital bed at once. She even knocked the bowl over. Porridge splashed over her clothes. She didn't even bother wiping it off before coming toward me. Her beautiful eyes were fixed on me. Her slender leg bumped the chair again by accident. The secretary behind her whispered, "Eldest princess, please slow down. Mr. Lu came by himself. He definitely won't run off." My gaze dropped to her raised, pale arm. I immediately said, "Your hand isn't healed yet. Don't move around." I helped her sit down. She looked at me from so close up, and the delight in her eyes was about to spill over. The secretary wanted to say something else, but she quietly kicked him. He grimaced and backed out of the room. "Why are your hands so cold?" Shen Nianchu asked gently. "I'll have someone bring hot soup. You haven't been in the room these past 2 days. Where have you been?" She was really asking where I'd been. This girl, still as domineering as ever. I smiled. "After all, you've planted so many spies around me. Do you still need to ask?" Shen Nianchu pouted and fell silent. There it was again. That spoiled little puppy look. "Chen." I went back to my hometown in southern Sichuan. I took out the letters. I had to only read a few lines. As for the rest, I wanted to hear it from your own mouth. I ask, you answer. Okay. She agreed without hesitation. "I'll tell you whatever you ask, including my bank card passwords. I have more than 100 cards. All the passwords are your birthday." From Shen Nianchu's answers, I finally pieced together the full truth from back then. When I first found Shen Nianchu in that alley, she had just been in a serious car accident. It was done by her father's illegitimate son, her younger brother. Her younger brother had hired an assassin from Gang City. The goal was to kill her. The week before I brought Shen Nianchu home, she really was confused. Sometimes her mind was clear, sometimes it was foggy. So, when I asked about her parents and family, she couldn't say a word. After about half a month of recovery at my house, Shen Nianchu finally fully came to her senses. But she didn't tell me who she was right away. She didn't want me dragged into it. At the time, Shen Group was locked in a full-blown battle over succession. Even I, who used to listen to gossip at the alley entrance every day, had heard a thing or two. When old Master Shen died, the inheritance rights went to his most favored legitimate eldest daughter. The other illegitimate sons from the various branches were furious. They thought a woman had no business inheriting the family business. They obstructed her at every turn. Shen's father openly brought his mistress back to live in the ancestral home. Mrs. Shen was pushed aside. Shen Nianchu was left missing, with no trace of her. She was afraid those illegitimate younger brothers would come looking for revenge, and that I would get caught in the crossfire. She kept her strength up and waited, endured in silence, and waited for a chance to strike back. After living in my house for 5 years, she finally found her opening. Over those 5 years, I wanted to tell you the truth so many times, but I was afraid you'd be scared out of your mind, just like me. I was also afraid you'd think my identity was too dangerous and leave me. In fact, starting in the 3rd year, my most trusted assistant had already found me, but I had him protect us in secret, without alerting the enemy. If my brothers found us, the consequences would have been unimaginable. I pressed my lips together, thought for a moment, and still couldn't help asking her, "Then what was going on when you were hugging Song Hongxuan outside my house?" Shen Nianchu frowned. Then it finally clicked. "So that's what you saw. You saw that scene, which is why you misunderstood. That day, one of my brothers had come looking for me. Song Hongxuan and I put on an act together. Back then, I also briefly regained my sight, for about 20 minutes or so. Then I went blind again very quickly. Besides, the Song family had business interests tied to my mother. Mr. Song very much hoped I would come out on top. Song Hongxuan was only there to pass along messages. It suddenly dawned on me. When she had been holding Song Hongxuan, her eyes had been scanning the surroundings. So that was it. She wasn't afraid I would suddenly appear. She was worried that her sight had suddenly returned, even if only for a moment. And on top of that, there was an enemy hiding in the dark. She had been nervous, watching closely. At the time, the company needed me to step in and lead a meeting, to turn the situation around. So, I had left in a hurry, and I didn't dare go back to look for you. I wrote all these letters, planning to mail them to you as soon as I got back to the company. So, you'd know the whole truth. I had Song Hongxuan give you a sum of money, and act out that I didn't want you anymore, that I was telling you to get lost. That way, you wouldn't be marked as a target by my brothers. They would think you were an unimportant pawn to be discarded. They would think you were just an unimportant pawn to be discarded. I just never expected. Song Hongxuan would secretly add money to get you to leave. He even photoshopped our bedroom photos, and I never expected you to take the money and actually leave. Before you left, you even said you found a wealthy woman who had fallen for you. Do you know how long I stayed angry? Every time I got angry enough, I would think, I hope the rich woman you like isn't as rich as I am, so that when you come back to your senses, you'll still come back to me. Shen Nianchu's beautiful eyes stayed fixed on me, her voice trembling with sobs and guilt. I said all this without meaning to dump all the blame on Song Hongxuan. Chen, I know it was my fault. I should have explained everything to you sooner. I understand now. Being in love means facing everything together, not assuming you know what's best for the other person. Chen, I'm sorry. I love you. Can you give me one more chance? I didn't answer Shen Nianchu's final question. After all the misunderstandings from back then were cleared up, I felt we were both at fault. I was wrong for being too afraid, for not having the courage to ask clearly. She was wrong for being too arrogant, for not understanding what love really means. In love, you should share everything together, whether it is big or small. These 5 years we spent apart, we can't blame anyone. We simply didn't know how to love each other. 1 month later, Shen Nianchu was discharged from the hospital. I also announced on Weibo that I had a woman I liked. I was waiting for the right chance to confess to her. Shen Nianchu didn't ask who she was. She only sent me a message. If she treats you badly, tell me. I'll have someone beat her up. That's such an eldest princess thing to do. I called her back. I have some gossip for you. Back then, you pulled that cringe viral video stunt at the wedding, and Song Hongxuan's reputation was completely ruined. He went abroad the very next month. I know all ties between the Shen family and the Song family are broken. There won't be any business dealings in the future either. As for Song Hongxuan, if you want him to pay even more, I laughed no. He's taking it very well. He even texted me yesterday to apologize, saying he got married overseas on a whim, and his wife gave birth to twin boys. He asked when I was going to accept you. Didn't I post on Weibo? I said I already had a woman I liked. What about you? Have you met any new men lately? I've been busy lately. Shen Nianchu changed the subject. You're on set, right? Have you eaten breakfast? Sister Kai must have prepared it for you. You prepared it, didn't you? She went silent. I pictured her looking like that little puppy of hers. No. A bad little puppy that never learns her lesson. Proud, spoiled, and willful, yet cautious and careful. I told her not to prepare those things for me, and every time, she'd obediently bow her head and admit she was wrong. Then the moment I turned around, she would insist on preparing them anyway. If I asked her about it, she'd put on this wrong little face. How can there be a woman who's this good at acting spoiled and clingy, and so good at taking care of people? Oh, right? Shen Nianchu, your mother came looking for me a few days ago. She looked for you? What did she say? Don't worry, I'll go find her. She said you're not getting any younger and should marry soon. If you don't have a child soon, it won't be good for your health. She asked whether I had any thoughts about it. Then you. I have a girl I like. At next month's concert, I will publicly confess to her. You will come too, right? Shen Nianchu. Oh, I'm busy next month. I have to go to the United States on a business trip. I probably can't make it. Shen Nianchu's voice fell at once. Even her breathing seemed to stop. It felt like she might throw herself into a river the next second just to vent her frustration. I held back my laughter. Oh, is that so? If the leading lady does not come, I can't confess. Then I guess I'll have to like someone else instead. There was a thud on the other end of the line. It must have been Shen Nianchu's phone hitting the floor. She was excited. Her secretary's voice followed immediately. Eldest princess, please don't run. Your car is over there. I will drive. I know where Mr. Lu's event is. You shouldn't be driving one-handed. And you are still wearing high heels. In the 3rd year after Shen Nianchu and I got married, she gave birth to a daughter. When our daughter was 5, we took her back to our hometown in southern Sichuan and stayed in the mud brick house. Then we took her to bow to my mother. Our daughter's bright, childish voice rang through the mountains and woods. Grandma, I'm Nianian. I came to see you with Daddy and Mommy. Mom said she'll love Daddy the way she should. So, you can rest easy over there. Grandma, Daddy said your singing used to sound really beautiful. I'm learning to sing too. I'll sing for you now. I held Shen Nianchu's slender waist in my arms, looking down at our daughter, who looked a little like her mother. My eyes full of peace and quiet happiness. When our daughter grew tired from singing, I carried her on my back, held Shen Nianchu's hand, and we walked slowly together. The sun rose over the horizon. Baby, I called her softly. Shen Nianchu tilted her head to look at me, and in those beautiful eyes, there was nothing but love. Do you know, baby? I lowered my head and whispered in her ear. mysteriously. I've loved you since the moment I met you. Light bloomed in Shen Nianchu's eyes, brighter than the dawning sky. She stood on tiptoe and pressed her red lips to mine. She said, word by word with absolute solemnity, "Husband, I love you too. I swore long ago in my heart, I only want you. If I could not wait for you, I would never marry in this life." Shen Nianchu loves Lu Chen to the bitter end, for this life and every life after.